How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be looking at Game Week 30 team selection, how my squad is setting out for Game Week 30, as well as taking a look back at how the squad got on in double, not really double, Game Week 29. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. Link down below if you do want to use my download link to download this wonderful app. Thanks again for sponsoring the video. If you don't know, OneFootball is the everything football related app. It's free to download on iOS or Android, and you can see there on the table. I'm following the Premier League right now. Gives me all the goals, assists, and whatever I need to know, as well as following my favorite team if I do want to follow a team, which is for me Liverpool, but for you it could be anyone else. Also, if you want to track more leagues than just the Premier League, go and check out this app. As I said, link down below. So right off the bat, before we talk about the team of the week, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that's double Game Week 29. So if you don't know, Manchester City versus Arsenal was postponed yet again due to the threat of the coronavirus. Now, the exact extent of this postponement is yet to be seen, whether future Premier League games are going to be postponed as they have been in competitions like the Italian Serie A. Is yet to be seen, as I said, so we don't know what exactly is going to be happening. My only recommendation to you guys would be to maybe hold off with your transfers. If you're going to be using a chip, maybe delay it as far as possible until we get real clarification on what the Premier League is going to be doing about the coronavirus and the imminent threat that it does pose. So that's basically all we can do at this point until there are official announcements, and otherwise just sit tight and at least you're in good company with a nice FPL video. So the team of the week has a large contingency of blue, as you can see, mainly due to Leicester and Chelsea both winning 4-0 in their respective fixtures. So we have the return of the King, Jamie Vardy, adding to his golden boot shout there with another 2 goals. So if you held patience with him, congratulations. A little bit of an unfortunate one if you did transfer him out. I think that decision was the right decision, as we didn't know exactly if Vardy was going to start. He didn't even start. In fact, he came off the bench but still did quite well. Then Harvey Barnes, will be talking about him a little bit later on. But then Lindelof also with a nice surprise clean sheet against his rivals Man City. McCarthy also doing well. A lot of owners do own McCarthy as he is quite cheap. And then Scott Dan there being a little bit of a surprise from that Crystal Palace defense. Not many other players to talk about. We have the popular Sadio Mane and Willian doing well. Ross Barkley's an interesting one that we spoke about in the Game Week 30 preview, so maybe your attention should be looking at him. And then finally, Lord Lundstrom yet again returning for his owners. 12 points there, a clean sheet and an assist with those bonus points. So he looks like he's back in the squad. So if you do have him, I probably would recommend just holding on to him and just hoping that he does start, as whenever he starts, he gets loads of points. But let's get on and see how my squad got on in Game Week 29. So Game Week 29, although not a double, it was really good for my squad. I ended up with an overall total of 85 points. Now this is the final totals and the final rank. FPL did update the game, so these are the final ranks. We don't have to wait for further confirmation of the postponement. So currently we are sitting just below that 30k mark. We started the game week at 70k, so we've done more than half our rank here. I think this is probably one of my highest game week ranks ever, about 50k. So this is really kind of productive. It's a little bit disheartening, as I do think if there are postponements of fixtures and maybe this Premier League season being null voided, it's going to be a little bit of wasted energy. But whatever, at least we are on that top 30k. So hopefully your game week was as good as mine. So starting off in goal, we have Guaita, who's really doing the goods for me recently. Another double-digit haul from the Crystal Palace goalkeeper is always welcomed, and I'm really glad that he's finally paying off. Also has a nice fixture in blank Game Week 31. It is against Liverpool. Probably not going to be getting a clean sheet there, but at least he'll get some save points. The rest of the defense, we have Soyuncu finally returning again. He's come back off my bench and is going to be starting in probably the upcoming game weeks. We'll be talking about that in the team selection, but at least he did get a clean sheet. He also was quite close to getting a goal off one of the corners. Aston Villa's defense of corners was absolutely atrocious, so maybe a little bit unlucky for Soyuncu not to get a return there. Alexander-Arnold, you know about him. Bournemouth did score, only the 2 points, not an attacking return this game week, and then O'Connell returning that Sheffield United clean sheet. The midfield is where the action is at though. We start off with Harvey Barnes. Really glad in hindsight to bring him in instead of Perez. I think that was the right choice, obviously because he scored more points this game week, but Harvey Barnes did look quite good, and I was really happy that I managed to capitalize on that Leicester attack without the likes of Jamie Vardy. The midfield, Salah and Mane, the combo. I went with Mane because of that differential aspect. A little bit disappointed that a lot of people vice captained the Liverpool options, so if that was one of you, I think you will agree that that was a nice vice captaincy to have, and I guess that's why we do have vice captains. But a lot more people would have captained Salah and Mane because of those vice captains than they would if there was a fixture. So Mane, the really standout player from my squad besides Harvey Barnes, 13 points, double to 26. I'm really happy that that differential captain finally paid off. Traore, nothing much to say about him. He came off my bench because of De Bruyne. Was the right decision to bench him, but unfortunately De Bruyne didn't even play in that Manchester United game. Up front, nothing to talk about. A treble of 2 points. Jota and Jimenez surprisingly didn't do that well against Brighton. I don't really know if it was a lack of attack or just a really good defense from Brighton, but they didn't get any returns. They both started up front, so at least I do have both of them. And then Danny Ings yet again not returning, so he looks like a transfer out for the upcoming game weeks. De Bruyne also didn't play, and then Lascelles with a lovely clean sheet. Really happy that he did keep a clean sheet, but not happy that he was on my bench. And then unfortunately Traore came on instead of him. And then Rico lost his place in that lineup. I'm just hoping that he kind of regains that place going into blank game week 31, because I am kind of relying on him to get a full starting 11. So I'm going to be talking about my team selection first before we go into the transfers, as I just want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of the team selection, and that'll help with my transfer decisions later on. So this is how the squad's setting up for game week 31. Captaincy's a little bit all over the place at the moment, as we don't really know what fixtures are going to be played and which won't. But starting off, we do have Mane instead of Salah captain again. I'm actually perfectly fine with just captaining Mane until the season ends, because Mane, his ownership is still pretty low, and you saw last game week only captained by 2% of people. So I do think that those owners would captain him this game week, but I still think it's going to be quite a low percentage. So he's currently my captain. Also has a nice Monday night fixture. It is against Everton away, but Everton, they showed against Chelsea that they're not looking that good defensively. I know it is a derby, so it's probably going to be a lot closer, but currently Mane is my captain. Guaita in goal against Bournemouth. Now Bournemouth have looked better recently, but I do think that Crystal Palace defense has looked rock solid, so I'm hoping for some points here from Guaita, even if it is a couple of save points. Those are always handy. The defense, Alexander-Arnold against Everton. Now I do feel like Everton will score in this one. I just think their attack has been a lot better recently than it has in the past game weeks, so I can see them scoring. So probably Alexander-Arnold, we're going to be relying on those attacking returns, but I don't have the guts to kind of bench him. O'Connell and Lascelles are playing each other, so I'm really hoping for a drab 0-0 here, and I do think we could get it. The way Sheffield United play and Newcastle play, I think they're going to cancel each other out, and I'm hoping just for that double clean sheet. I could play Sionku, but I do think Watford have a better chance of scoring than Sheffield United against Newcastle. The rest of the midfield is Barnes and De Bruyne, and I think De Bruyne will come back from injury, so I'm not worrying too much about his injury. And then Harvey Barnes, how can I bench him after that performance? Now Watford, tougher fixture than Aston Villa, but I do think that Barnes can still do the goods in this one and hopefully get some goals and assists. Up front, we have Jota and Jimenez, both against West Ham, so I'm kind of hoping for some goals on that one again. Now, I think West Ham defensively aren't that great, so I'm expecting Wolves to get a couple. The thing that I'm just monitoring right now is the whole Olympiacos debate. Apparently, UEFA rejected the appeal of Wolves to postpone the fixture, so just keep your eyes on that Europa League game and just see where the minutes are coming. Same thing can be said about Liverpool. They are playing Atletico Madrid tonight, so obviously when this video is uploaded you'll have seen that fixture, so hopefully no injuries took place in that one, but it'll also be quite a telling factor. If Liverpool do get knocked out, I'm pretty sure they'll be playing a stronger 11 than if they were still in the Champions League. Now Ings kind of wraps up the front line. I'm hoping that Danny Ings can kind of return in here, as I am looking at transferring out next game week, so I'm kind of giving him one last game week to look at. And now Norwich have been better defensively than we all have been saying in the past game week, so I don't know if it's the best fixture in the world, but I do think that Danny Ings will hopefully score in this one. The bench gets quite interesting. Traore on the bench there, my first bench position. I'm just looking at that Europa League game, seeing and assessing what happens there. and then taking a kind of look at my bench, going into that deadline and seeing if maybe Traore can slot in somewhere. Soyuncu, as I said, on the bench, and he's probably the most important player in terms of transfers. I'm benching him this game week, so I am looking at transferring him out because I am benching him. So I've got nothing really to lose. We'll be talking about that shortly. And then obviously Rico, just hoping he plays this week in the starting 11, as that'll give me quite a lot of faith of playing him in blank game week 31 and having a full starting 11. But as I said, let's go and look at those transfers that I am considering. So I spoke about Soyuncu, and because I have 2 free transfers, I kind of have to use one. So what I'm currently thinking is, I know Charlie Taylor has Man City at home, but because I'm benching Soyuncu anyway, I don't really mind using a transfer for my bench, and that's why Charlie Taylor probably will be coming in. This is all preparation for blank game week 31. I'm hoping to not use my free chip in blank game week 31 and use it hopefully when there's a double late on in the season. So Soyuncu probably going to be my transfer out for Charlie Taylor. I could do it for a Wolves defender, which would probably be my priority, but I currently have Traore, and I don't really want to transfer out a player that plays in blank game week 31. I'm just hoping that he does start. Then we have Barnes, who's going to make way for Saar probably going into that blank game week 31, and then finally Danny Ings to Wood. So I want to give Barnes and Ings a last chance, not really a chance, but a last kind of a farewell, because they do have a nice fixture, and I am kind of backing them to do well this game week. But then obviously for blank game week 31, they're not going to have a fixture at all, so not really a big loss there. So this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. As I said, my main advice for you would be to just wait and see what happens, wait for official announcements, and then we can kind of assess how this FPL season is going to turn out. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be having a deadline with Dayvy stream on Saturday before the deadline, an hour before the deadline. Last game week was an absolute banger, so hoping that you join us there as well. I'm going to be signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.